Good evening, everybody. This is your boy Shane Jamal Hector, CEO and on air personality of Underground Sports, the Underground Railroad of Sports. Tonight is a special edition of the No BS No Holds Barred talk show on Wednesday, March 1st of 2023. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to get into to talk about tonight's big topic, which is going to be the talk of the town right now, which is the NFL Scouting Combine of 2023, and we get to see all these nice prospects from across the nation, from all these different colleges, coming to this combine in order to try to get a job in the NFL. Tonight's sponsor is with Pampered Chef, Chef It Up with Shay. That is our sponsor for tonight's show. If you are interested in Pampered Chef, please look at the QR code, scan it on your phone, and then you will be able to chef it up with Shay on Pampered Chef. Now, let's talk about today's track. So, March 2nd is going to be the start of the combine, and the end of the combine will be March 5th. Now, I want you guys to understand and keep in mind what the schedule is going to be like for that. So, March 2nd, which is Thursday, which will be tomorrow, we will be looking at the defensive line and the linebackers. On Friday, you'll see the defensive backs. That includes cornerbacks and safeties. On Saturday, you will see the quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. And then on Sunday, you'll see all of the running backs and the offensive line and all the drills that they're going to run through. And so we're going to talk about how does the combine work, who's invited, the top prospects. We're going to look at my hidden gem report for the No BS show, and then NFL draft lookout for 2023. How does the NFL Scouting Combine work? Well, it's very simple. 32 teams get to vote on who comes into the NFL and send out an invitation to the players who are invited to the NFL Combine. Now, the selection committee is selected by all of the 32 teams, which is the directors of both the National and Bledsoe Scouting Services, which represents the NFL teams, and then joined by members of various NFL player management departments to form that committee. And the participating NFL executives can rotate on a yearly basis, and they remain anonymous, by the way, just so everybody's aware. And then, of course, all eligible players are reviewed and voted on by the committee members. Each athlete receiving the necessary number of votes by position is then extended an invitation. It may not be a perfect science, but the goal of the committee is to invite every player that will be drafted in the ensuing NFL draft. Now, since we have talked about that, I want people to understand something. The NFL draft is not perfect, okay? The NFL draft is not perfect, but that's why we have prospects, right? So we're going to talk about now the top prospects of 2023. Lots of prospects, and I want people to understand that I'm only going to go through 5 of them right now. 5. And then, of course, I'll show you guys the hidden gem, which is the 6th prospect. But I want you guys to understand that these prospects are some of the top guys, and then I want you guys to look at the sleeper that I have in store for you. And that person's name will be revealed at the appropriate time. So, let's go to it. CJ Stroud from the Ohio State University. 6'3", 224 pounds. This kid hails from the Ohio State. This kid is flat out ridiculous. Okay, the numbers this kid puts up is just unreal. First, is in 2022, and as he got into the college football playoff this year, 3,688 yards passing, 41 touchdown passes, and 6 interceptions thrown. The kid doesn't turn over the ball very much, and on top of that, he's going to throw touchdowns. That's what this kid is born to do. That's what he's made for. In his previous year, in 2021, 4,435 yards, 44 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. This kid can flat out play football. Quarterback, smart, prototypical NFL quarterback, can play in a pro style offense, can read the defense. All you need to do is make sure he goes to the right team. And the team that I believe CJ Stroud should go to. But this is just me, and then probably some other analysts. The Indianapolis Colts, if you're a Colts fan, I definitely want to see him is in a Colts uniform. This kid can flat out play. He ain't gonna pull an Andrew Luck and leave you guys. This kid's gonna be here for a long time. He's gonna play football. That's what he's here to do. He's here to play quarterback, and he's also going to be a guy that's definitely going to get his guys the ball. That's what he does. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to the next prospect on this list. And his name is Bryce Young from Roll Tide, from the Alabama Crimson Tide. University of Alabama, Bryce Young played in the SEC for a number of years. This young man, since he was a freshman, okay, has always caused problems. And then on top of that, if we're gonna look at this kid, let's look at his stats. 3,328 yards, 32 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions thrown in 2022. Even though he missed the college football playoff this year, the kid can play football. Year before that, 47 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 4,872 yards. For every 100 yards he throws a touchdown. You cannot beat that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he does. If you let him get 100 yards, he's going to throw a touchdown. That means he's using the length of the field to score. That's what he does. He is a scoring machine. Okay? And this year, to even add insult to injury, he had 4 rushing touchdowns this year. And then the year prior to that, he had 3 rushing touchdowns, in which he had won the Heisman because he had 50 touchdowns. This kid was flat out amazing. The only thing about Bryce, 6 feet tall, 194 pounds. And when I say this kid is 194 pounds, he's literally 194 pounds wet. Being honest. However, if he puts on some weight, say about 26 pounds, gets to about 220, it's going to be hard to stop this kid. Definitely see him in a Texans uniform, though, because unfortunately, we all know the Texans, they need a quarterback. It is very imperative that they get a quarterback because unfortunately, since Deshaun Watson is no longer in Houston, they're now going to have to find somebody to fill that void. It is what it is. But hey, if you're a Texans fan, look at it like this: you're about to get the number one guy that you probably seen beat Texas A&M all the time. So that's a great thing. Don't worry. Now you don't have to worry about him in the SEC. Now you just have to worry about him being either in a Cowboys uniform or a Texans uniform. But he's probably going to be in a Texans uniform. So there you go. Moving on to the next prospect on this list, Jalen Carter. When I say Jalen is an animal, Jalen is an animal. 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss in this past season. Played for the University of Georgia. He is a bulldog through and through. 6'3", 310 pounds. And when I say he is a prototypical defensive tackle, he is a prototypical defensive tackle. He is a 5 technique D lineman. And with 5 technique D linemen, you can move them anyway. You can put them over the nose. You can put them over the guard, over the center, or the tackle. You can move outside the tackle, inside the guard, and outside of the guard, inside of the center, and outside of the guard. The whole point is this boy can move anywhere on the D line, and he's gonna go get the quarterback. That's what he do. And if you need him to blow up a play, don't worry, he'll take care of that too. If you need him to stop that back from getting out the backfield, he gonna make sure of it. You do not have to worry. He's gonna definitely make plays. Okay. Whoever drafts this dude, I feel bad for the opposing team. My prediction, because I know the Chicago Bears are probably gonna trade out. If the Bears trade out, somebody else is going to pick him up in the top 5. This guy is a top 5 guy. Although he's running into a little trouble right now, we do believe that, that if he's still drafted, he's still going to find a way to make sure that, he does what he's supposed to do on the football field. Not even worried. But I believe this kid is really great, and I can't wait to see what's in store for him. The next kid on this list, Tyree Wilson. When I say prototypical defensive end, I say he's a prototypical defensive end. Played all 4 years of college, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Okay. First is it, as a Texas Tech Red Raider, he's had back-to-back seasons with 7 sacks. Okay. Also back-to-back seasons of double-digit tackles for loss. He had 14 tackles for loss in 2022, 13 and a half tackles for loss in 2021. I mean, this kid could flat out play some football. When asked, is it now? He is a 3-4 defensive. Is it defensive lineman probably, or outside linebacker in a 3-4, or if you'd like, you could put him in a 4-3. He's gonna go get the quarterback. But I think he's more better as like a 3-4 outside linebacker because of his quickness and speed to the football. He has the ability to force fumbles. He had one forced fumble this year and a fumble recovery. And I firmly believe you could kind of turn him into like a Terrell Suggs or even a LaMarr Woodley. If anybody remembers LaMarr Woodley from the Pittsburgh Steelers, you could definitely have them play that kind of role. He's gonna go get the quarterback. That's what he does. That's what this kid's good is a good for. You get him in there, he's getting after it. Put him on the outside of the tackle, he'll probably beat the tackle. Is it more often than not? But he'll also can kind of go inside. Is it and play that inside role in between the left tackle or is it in the guard or the right tackle in the guard? Go get is it and go get the quarterback. I believe that he could definitely and he's manhandle some tackles in his heyday. So when I say that to say this, Tyree Wilson definitely want him on your draft board. Is a good kid to have out of the Texas Tech Red Raiders because he was definitely wreaking havoc on my poor Sooners this year, and he was definitely wreaking havoc on the Texas Longhorns and a bunch of other teams in the Big 12. This kid is a freak. He's a freak. So we gotta see. We will see what happens in the upcoming draft. The team I believe should definitely draft him. Probably should be more likely than not the Carolina Panthers because they kind of need to beef up that defense because because they will get the offense set during free agency, but but defense definitely want to just kind of shore it up just a little bit, just shore it up a little bit. If he doesn't go to Carolina, another team he could definitely see find his way to is a team that's in need of defensive players badly, and I would most certainly say probably the Baltimore Ravens because they don't have any really good like stellar or stud D linemen that could really do some things for them. So, but that's if the Ravens decide they even want to trade up pretty high to get this guy. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Next gentleman on this list, hailing from the University of Texas, the Longhorns, standing at 6 feet tall, 222 pounds. Okay, running a 4.3 is it 4.38 4.40. My man, Bijan Robinson, it ran for 1,580 yards and 18 touchdowns, having 2 receiving touchdowns. This guy can play some football now. Now he's gonna go get you some. He's gonna put points on that board. I mean, the boy could walk your dog, water your plants, and paint your back porch. I mean, he could flat out play some football. That's what he does. He is good at it. He's been good at it in the Big 12. Coming out of Texas. Been playing since he was a freshman at Texas. Appeared in 9 games in 2020. Then he appeared in about 10 games, and then this year had a full year of about 12 games. And you saw what this kid can do. This kid this kid can flat fly. The question just comes down to is what team is in need of a running back? Okay. Now, I can think of a bunch of teams right now that could definitely need a running back. Clearly, the Lions need a running back because they don't have a solidified back. Because Jamal Williams, as good as he was this year, he's not a guy that I'm afraid of, okay? He'll get you yards, he'll get you some touchdowns, but he's not somebody that I'm afraid of, okay? Or the NFC North, you could look at the Bears. The Bears could use Mr. Robinson's services. Why? Because at the end of the day, David Montgomery is starting to be on the decline. You're probably going to end up, if you do end up drafting him back, then that would actually be a good spot for him to go because he would come in and automatically be the starter. Okay? Then there's another team that I think is kind of a sleeper out there, and that's most certainly the Kansas City Chiefs, because unfortunately, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we both know he's not going to get the ball because when they had Kareem Hunt, that team was so balanced and it was very difficult to stop the Chiefs. Now, if they just want to add more firepower, they can do that. I think Mr. Robinson could definitely go there, or you can even send him to the Broncos because Russell Wilson, a quarterback's best friend, is a really great running back. If you put Robinson behind Russell Wilson in a Sean Payton offense, now Sean Payton runs the ball as much as he needs to, just like he did with Alvin Kamara. Then we'll have a different situation in Denver, and then Denver will get right back to pounding the ball, and on top of that, lighting it up in the air. Can't beat that. Gotta have it. Bijan Robinson. We'll see how it goes. Can't wait to see this kid in the NFL. And gotta talk about Mr. Anderson. Will Anderson from Roll Tide from the University of Alabama. This guy, when I say this guy is beyond a freak. I wouldn't even call him a freak. I would just call him a Decepticon because 6'4", okay, 6'4", 235 pounds, basically 240 pounds. Okay, running a 4.6, 4.5 40. Okay, 10 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, with 51 total tackles in 2022. Now, granted, Alabama isn't made the bowl game. They did make a big bowl game this year. All isn't even though they were out of the college football playoff. But this kid can flat out fly, because in his sophomore year had 101 tackles, 31 tackles for loss, and 17 and a half sacks. I mean, what more do you want this kid to do? The question is, who needs a 3-4 outside linebacker? I can tell you the team that does, and that's most certainly Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, if you need another defensive guy, this is your guy, man. Go pick him up right now, because I can tell you right now, he comes to you guys, you're back. Isn't not only that steel curtain is gonna be tough, but now it's gonna be like James Harrison and Lamar Woodley all over again. Because now you'll add T.J. Watt, Will Anderson on that same defense, and then you leave Miles Jack in the middle. You got some upside there, and I firmly believe that Will Anderson, he'll probably find his way. And if he's not in the NFC North, I mean the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he'll find his way to somebody that needs a 3-4 outside linebacker, or maybe even a 4-3 defensive end, but you'll have to be a stand-up 4-3. Is it 4-3 DN? Probably New England, because New England loves to run that outside linebacker type of role in a 3-4. I could definitely see him finding his way to New England, considering New England's going to need all the help they can get, considering they did miss the playoffs this year, even though they made it last year. So I could see Will Anderson going there. And ding, 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 hidden gem alert. The hidden gem alert. The No BS No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show is a very exclusive thing with the No BS No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show. The hidden gem alert. I want everybody to understand. The Underground Sports headquarters is right here in the beautiful state of Maryland. Okay, right now you're going to see one of Maryland's own from Frederick, Maryland, Jordan Addison, wide receiver from the University of Southern Cal. 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, sub 4.40. Had great yards under Lincoln Riley. Had received 875 yards of receiving yards this year with 8 touchdowns. Okay, this kid can flat out play some ball. Prior to that, in the ACC, he played at the University of Pittsburgh. His best year, 1,593 yards and 17 touchdowns. Wins the Biletnikoff Award. And then what makes this even more interesting is the fact that this young man had 100 catches in 2021. I mean, this boy can play some ball. If there is a team that could use Jordan Addison's services, the Baltimore Ravens need to be on the phone with him right now. I'm telling you this because If you want to get the most out of Lamar before Lamar gets out of Baltimore, because we don't know if he's even going to stay there, because we don't know if he's being franchise tag or if he's going to have a long-term contract. We have no idea. But I can say this: you add Jordan Addison, that's like having Devontae Smith, because the boy got hands, he's fast, he can beat the jam, and if he beats the jam, have fun trying to catch up, because that corner can't get back fast enough. Okay, he will not be able to get back fast enough to cover this kid unless your name is Sauce Gardner. Now, if you that are Sauce Gardner, then that might be a different conversation. But for the most part, Jordan Addison, you definitely want him on your team. It's very clear exactly who needs to be on your team. And if you're Baltimore, I would be taking a highly serious look at Jordan Addison. The kid can ball. The kid is amazing. And on top of that, he's Maryland's own. Come on now, like what are we talking about here? Draft a guy that is a homegrown guy. He knows the state. He knows the people. The people will come see him. You want to sell tickets? Draft Jordan Addison. But hey, who am I? This is just Shane Jamal Hector from the No BS Show. And so that concludes tonight's show, this special edition, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody who has been listening. If you want to advertise with the show and Underground Sports, email at undergroundsportsllc@gmail.com. That is undergroundsportsllc@gmail.com. Please email me there. And any of my people here on my team will most certainly get back to you as soon as possible. And we will definitely want to have a great conversation with you. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you guys my social media. Shane.Hector is it on Facebook, insane underscore Shane29 on Twitter, and also Underground SB29 at Twitter, Shiz underscore 29 at Instagram, No BS No Holds Barred on Instagram as well, Underground Sports LLC.blogspot.com, and coming soon, ladies and gentlemen, TikTok. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait for y'all to see the TikTok videos that we do. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And I want to tell you guys that I have an amazing team behind me, and I can't wait to tell you. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you once again for tuning in. Tune in next week, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after, or more from the No BS Show. This is your boy Shane Jamal Hector, and we are out. Peace!